before we start off today's video, I need to give you guys this week's tweet of the week. This week's tweet is brought to you by Power Rangers Now. And also, you can thank my friend Nocturus for DMing me this. It's the little boy who converted his wheelchair into the Tyrannosaurus Zord. And there's no joke here, no BS. I think it's really sweet, and I think it's really cool, and I think it should be highlighted. So yeah, nothing more to say here. If you have a tweet that you want to be next week's tweet of the week, just send it to me at AllSaceYT on Twitter. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome back to Not the Power Rangers, the only show on my channel that you probably care about. No, seriously, thank you for watching, and thank you for coming around. No one's forced to watch my videos, so it's very sweet when you're giving me this time of day, basically. My name's Allsace, and today we're talking about Big Bad Beetleborgs for two reasons. The first being that my boy Jamie Martinez basically painted out the roadmap for the next 3 episodes of this series, and also because my man at Big Dog Steve 54 on Twitter awared me of the fact that Big Bad Beetleborgs is actually on Netflix, which makes finding usable footage for the video so much easier. Y'all remember the subtitles in the Dragon Knight video, right? Anyways, Big Bad Beetleborgs is based off a Japanese show called Juukou B-Fighter, or Beetle Fighter. It's from the Metal Hero series. Metal Heroes is yet another Toei-produced tokusatsu, much like Kamen Rider or Super Sentai. The word Juukou roughly translates to heavy shell. As we can clearly see right here, heavy shell translates to
heavy shell.
What? So they're the heavy shell beetle fighters. They sound awfully slow. The story of the show goes basically a bunch of animals and plants start acting funny. And the government is like, yo, the fuck's up with that? And they send out our boy Takuya Kai to figure out what's going on with them. And while investigating, he comes across whatever the fuck this thing is, a beetle sage thing named Guru, who's like, yeah, don't mind the insects. They're just preparing for war because the Jamal are beings from another dimension who plan to conquer Earth. So basically, Takuya goes back and tells the government this, and they fully believe him, and the government ends up making a bunch of insect-themed armor suits in order to combat Jamal. Guru also does some beetle magic on the suits, making it so that, like, not just anyone can use them, and basically there are 3 suits. Blue Beat, who ends up picking Takuya, as well as G-Stag and Rettle, who choose 2 individuals who are about to be enslaved by Jamal. So, what is Beetleborgs like in comparison? Well, considering that it's another early 90s Japanese adaptation from Saban, you can probably guess that it's absolutely nothing like that. In fact, it's nowhere close. Like, not even a little. To give you an idea, Masked Rider is more similar to Kamen Rider Black and Black RX than Beetleborgs is to B-Fighters. And that's 90% because of the fact that Dax and Kotaro wear the same clothes. Beetleborgs is nothing like B-Fighters, in the best way possible. Hopefully the show can speak for itself in that instance. So without any further ado, let's get into it. It starts off with the best intro music in the world. Big Bad Beetleborgs! Big Bad Beetleborgs! Bruh. I know that I gassed up the Dragon Knight intro for being like badass and like intense. Well, this intro perfectly gets you ready for this show in terms of just like how fun and energetic it is. I can't help but get fucking psyched every time I hear this. It's like a sugar rush of dopamine. It's the type of song that makes you want to get up and run a mile at like 3 a.m. in the morning. The show opens with 2 kids running out of a haunted mansion, and I got a problem with whatever the fuck this kid's wearing. Like, that's not proper haunted house attire. You look like you're ready to go to like Sunday mass, not fucking raid a mansion. Let's go. Yo, that aged horribly. Nah, man, that's not a phone. That's a fucking TI-84 plus. Oh, those kids are just rich, I guess. Still doesn't explain why the fuck he's dressed like that. Like, you wanna know what I was wearing when I was 9? Fucking big ass purple hoodies, and baggy sweatpants. Not a fucking button up in loafers. We then get some establishing shots for the town, and it goes on for like way too long. Oh wow. Okay, this is where we're at. Oh, this is also where we're at. Cool, yeah. All right, we're here, and that's okay. This is the town. This is the town we're sitting at. Okay. Can you tell they wanted to make this a two-parter? Anyways, these are our three main characters. Andrew, his best friend Roland, and his sister Josephine. I love all of them, and I honestly think that they're the best in terms of like child actors. Besides Josephine.
All right, Roland, you're really getting the hang of that magic stuff.
The name's Magic. Call me Magic.
Why? That's not how hobbies work, man. I'm not sitting here being like, Alsace? Video. My name is fucking Video. Roland's dad owns a comic book shop, and they're all there to pick up the new issue of Beetleborgs. Oh, and by the way, did I mention that Roland has the coolest fucking grandma?
Sounds like Nana's on the roll again.
You call that a race, Snake? You took that curve like a sissy. You gotta get low and mean.
You're way too cool for me, Nano.
Dog, I wish my grandma was that cool. All my grandma does all day is like sit in her apartment eating Werther's Originals, waiting to die. That's not even a joke.
Am I the queen of bees or what?
Yeah, Nana. I hope I'm the queen of bees when I get older. Fingers crossed my family's history of dementia just glances over me in that aspect.
Mom!
Now don't you start on me, Aaron.
I just got a call from Mrs. Bamberg. She said that you drove your motorcycle through her prized tomato patch.
Tomatoes, oh no, my chili.
I love that interaction. Tomatoes? Oh, f my chili.
Hey, Drew, I got a tutu that'll fit you. Oh, man.
Roasted. Got him.
Kids, you know, they say the darndest things.
Kids? Dog, you're like 12. By the way, how is Heather working here? Isn't she also like 12? Is that illegal? There's gotta be some sort of like child labor laws against that. We then have our first fight scene, and it's via dream sequence, but it shows off a major part of the show that I really love. There's like a bunch of comic book text and like zany sound effects that really set these fight scenes apart from any other show. So the two kids from earlier show up at the comic book shop, and again, what the fuck is with this kid? Why do you dress like that? They're two rich nerds that are also bullies.
We're celebrating. I just got promoted to president of the chess club.
The chess club? That's what you wanna flex about? All right.
Three little dorks reading those infantile Beetleborg comics. Don't be such a trip. Ooh, big man. It's such a way with words.
I love how he insults the fact that Drew is using alliteration when homeboy here is literally using words like infantile. I just want to punt this kid's dorky ass throat. Yo, I have to remind myself he's 6. But like, let it be known, I've hated this little kid since I was a little kid, so it should be fine. So they then make a bet to stay a night at the haunted mansion from earlier, just to prove that none of them are put.
Are you crazy, man? Do the words ghosts, monsters, and vampires mean anything at all to you?
Sounds like a party to me.
You know, it's a fucking party when the ghosts show up with their fucking ectoplasm and shit.
Checkmate, Dudley.
Y'all are fucking dweebs. Okay, like that's it. Y'all are fucking dweebs. That's it. That's the last time I'm mentioning those kids. They're in the rest of the episode, and they do some dumb shit. But I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing this. So they all go inside the mansion, and a bunch of spooky stuff happens.
He was right, just a pile of junk.
Who are you calling junk? Huh? Gross I can live with, but junk? That's just not right.
What you see is not always what you get.
Yo, her face. Thank God he just unwrapped himself, because she's gonna need to use that to clean the shit that's in her pants. They end up in a room with an organ in it, and they end up playing the organ by accident and summoning Flubber. He's like this weird mix of like 1989 Joker meets Genie from Aladdin meets Jay Leno, weirdly enough. I'm not gonna lie, I loved Flabber as a kid, and I still think I kind of do now. I feel like he has a lot of character and personality and energy that was supposed to be put into the live-action Dr. Seuss movies, but just was all used up on this man. You know what I mean? It makes sense when you watch it, I promise. He's allowed to grant them one wish for letting him out of the organ, and they all agree to use their wish to have Flabber turn them into their favorite comic book heroes, the Beetleborgs. And this goes into part 2, where we find out that once Flabber turned them into the Beetleborgs, it also allowed the comic book monsters to escape from the comic book world, giving the Beetleborgs a necessary evil to combat. And that's basically the first episode, and the second episode a little bit. I don't know how well of a job I did at showing you just how much I love this show. It doesn't have an amazing story or anything like that, but it more than makes up for it in terms of like heart and in just how fun this show is. That's just like the best way to describe it, is it's just fun. In fact, I actually ended up forgetting to take a lot of notes while I was watching this because I just forgot I wasn't watching it for pleasure. I always loved this show as a kid, and I probably always will. I love the suits, the characters, and just the whole vibe of it all. It's a solid 10 out of 10 for me. Anyways, join me in the 3rd week of next month for the next episode of Not the Power Rangers, where we go over VR Troopers. Hope to see you then. Bye-bye.